Hello enthusiasts, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most common phrases in the cannabis world, top shelf. You've probably seen it on dispensary menus, heard growers brag about it, or maybe even used the term yourself. But what does top shelf actually mean? Well, in this video, we're going to break it all down. From the frost of the trichomes, to the weight and structure of the bud, to the cure, and finally, to the aroma that leaps out of the jar. Chapter 1. Trichomes. When people think of top shelf, the first image that comes to mind is often a bud covered in glittering frost. Those sparkles are called trichomes and are glandular outgrowths of epidermal cells and look like little mushroom-shaped structures that consist of stalks and resin heads that house the plant's key chemical compounds like cannabinoids, terpenes, and flavonoids. Now here's the key thing. Trichomes are actually part of the plant's natural defense mechanism. For example, the sticky resin deters insects and grazing animals, while the bitterness of the terpenes makes flowers less appetizing. Even THC plays a role by absorbing UVB radiation, shielding the plant's DNA from cellular damage, especially in high-altitude or equatorial regions. Furthermore, the cannabis plant's fuzzy coating acts like a protective blanket, reducing water loss and buffering against sudden changes in wind or temperature. For growers, trichomes are the single most reliable indicator of when to harvest. Clear trichomes mean the cannabinoids are still immature. As they cloud over, it tells us that THC levels are at their peak, and the plant is in its prime. Amber trichomes, on the other hand, suggest chemical conversion is underway, often shifting effects toward a heavier, more sedative high. A grower chasing true top-shelf potential doesn't harvest based on the calendar. They harvest by watching trichomes under magnification and choosing the perfect window. Chapter 2. Density. Pick up a top-shelf bud and it should feel firm, compact, and sticky without being brittle. Density tells you a story about how that plant was grown. Buds become dense when they receive optimal light penetration, consistent airflow, and proper nutrient support throughout the flowering cycle. Here are a few key signs to keep in mind the next time you're examining your buds. If light can't reach a bud site, the flower stays airy. If humidity is too high, buds remain loose to protect against mold. And if the plant doesn't receive enough calcium and magnesium, which are the minerals that fortify cellular walls, flowers can collapse inward instead of stacking tightly. And here's the thing. Density isn't just about looks. A dense flower contains more trichomes per gram simply because more calyxes are packed together. Now, if you're new to the term, a calyx is the tiny, tear-shaped structure that makes up the bulk of each bud. It's part of the plant's reproductive system that's formed to protect the seed inside if pollination occurs. The more calyxes that are tightly clustered, the denser and more resin-rich your flower will be. And that translates into more cannabinoids and terpenes. Loose, airy buds may look big, but they break down to far less material. Chapter 3. Curing. If trichomes are the raw power and density is the body, then the cure is what makes a bud truly refined. You can grow the frostiest flower in the world, but if it's dried and cured poorly, it will never be top shelf. Curing is the slow post-harvest process of preserving and refining cannabis. Curing cannabis is no different than curing other plants we've come to treasure. Just like tobacco leaves, cacao beans, or even vanilla pods, raw plant material starts out harsh, green, and undeveloped. But given time and the right environment, enzymes and microbes transform it into something flavorful, smooth, and shelf-worthy. The first step is drying, which removes surface moisture without cooking off delicate terpenes. Then comes the cure, which involves sealing the buds in jars or containers that are opened periodically to burp excess humidity. Inside the jar, moisture equalizes, enzymes break down chlorophyll, and harsh byproducts are neutralized. The length of your curing process has a direct impact on the flavor and quality of the final product. A rushed cure traps chlorophyll, which makes the flower burn harsh and taste grassy. But when the cure is given time, it results in a final product that is smooth, richer in flavors, and has a more stable potency. Many connoisseurs compare it to aging fine wine. The longer it's allowed to develop, the more complex and enjoyable the experience becomes. A simple test can tell you if a cure was done right. Roll a joint and light it up. If it burns evenly to a soft white ash, the flower was properly dried and cured. If it burns unevenly, sparks, or leaves black, clumpy ash, the process was rushed or mishandled. Top-shelf cannabis always smokes clean. It's something you can feel, taste, and smell. Before moving on to the next chapter, I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of today's video, Cannador. They make beautifully crafted cannabis humidors that are designed to keep your buds fresh, flavorful, and perfectly stored. Cannador was founded back in 2013 by Zane Witzel, who, like many of us, was tired of storing his cannabis in mason jars and plastic bags. He wanted something better, a system that treated cannabis with the same respect as fine cigars or wine. By adapting the science of humidors, he created a storage solution made specifically for cannabis. Every Cannador is lined with solid mahogany, which controls humidity without leaving behind any odors or oils like cedar can. On the outside, you get a sleek veneer in walnut or cherry, finished in a clean matte style that looks like high-end furniture. The result is something that's not just functional but also sleek, well-designed, and durable. A humidor that actually belongs on display. And it's not just me saying this. Cannador was recently named a winner in the Green State Consumer's Choice Awards in the storage category. Right now, Cannador is giving the Cannabis Guy community a special deal. Use code CannabisGuy25 at checkout for $50 off your order. And as part of today's video, we're also giving away a 4-strain Cannador with Nook to one of our channel members. A big thanks again to Cannador for supporting educational cannabis content. Now let's get back to today's video. Chapter 4. Aroma. Finally, let's talk about aroma, which is arguably the most immediate and unmistakable signal of quality. Crack open a jar of true top-shelf cannabis and the scent should rush out to greet you. It should be fruity, gassy, skunky, earthy, and floral. It should be bold, layered, and distinct. Terpenes like myrcene, limonene, pinene, linalool, and caryophyllene don't just make cannabis smell incredible, they influence the high through what's known as the entourage effect. Top-shelf buds balance these compounds in a way that creates a full sensory experience, smell, taste, and effect all working together. If a bud smells faint, grassy, or generic, it's not top shelf. If it smells like a punch in the face when you crack the jar, bright, pungent, and complex, that's the hallmark of high terpene preservation. For many seasoned consumers, aroma is the deciding factor. It tells you everything about how the plant was grown, handled, and respected. And that's a wrap on today's episode. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, and make sure to drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story and what techniques have worked best for you. Your insights help fuel this community and shape future videos. And if you want to dive even deeper, consider becoming a Cannabis Guy channel member. You'll unlock access to monthly giveaways, exclusive content, loyalty badges, member-only discount codes, and much, much more. It's a great way to support the channel, stay informed, and grow right alongside an amazing group of cultivators. Thanks for tuning in to this educational video. And as always, keep being awesome and stay curious, my friends.